A group of athletes were warming up for a track race at the Wadiyan Games. In a shocking turn of events, we see a heavily bearded participant run and trigger the starting gun to commence the race. This was clearly cheating. But in another shocking turn of events, the man with the pistol threatens to shoot anyone who dares to bypass him in the race.
He won 14 gold medals.
This funny bit got even more hilarious when the finish line was moved from the post and taken to him, ensuring an easy victory for the man. This insane lunatic is Admiral General Aladeen, the beloved oppressor of the North African nation of Wadiya. Aladeen is portrayed as a ruthless dictator, heavily modeled after real-life authoritarian figures with a mix of comedic exaggeration.
Well, to get more popular, I think your Prime Minister Gillard should have a sex change and become a woman.
Okay, that came off as kind of offensive.
Thank you.
The film follows Aladeen's journey as he faces political challenges and attempts to adapt to life in the United States after a coup strips him of power. Whilst Admiral General Aladeen is a fictional, exaggerated character, much of his portrayal draws inspiration from the real-life behaviors of Muammar Gaddafi.
But they love me, all my people with me. They love me all.
Aladeen is often depicted wearing elaborate military uniforms with insane amounts of medals, sunglasses, and flamboyant robes. Gaddafi was also known for his eccentric, colorful outfits, which ranged from military wear to custom-made robes. In this film, Aladeen has a special security made up of all female bodyguards who are highly trained and fiercely loyal to him. Gaddafi was also known for having a group of female bodyguards, often referred to as the Amazonian Guard, who were virgins according to him. I don't know why that information was necessary to the public. Admiral General Aladeen was born the only son to his father, who was also a savage dictator who ruled Wadiya with an iron fist. And it's no secret why his son became a bigger douche. At age 7, he was put in charge of Wadiya to continue his father's despicable legacy. This drew my attention to why individuals who normally gain power at a very young age turn out to become very terrible leaders. When people gain power at a very young age, they can face several challenges that make it difficult to lead effectively, and these challenges can lead to negative or destructive behaviors. Young leaders are often surrounded by advisors or more experienced officials who may manipulate them to serve their own interests. Lacking the experience to discern good advice from bad, they may become puppets to those around them. In summary, young leaders often turn out bad due to a combination of immaturity, lack of experience, unchecked power, and the corrupting influence of those around them. General Aladeen is just another example. A privileged man who doesn't care about anyone around him, is self-centered, and uses his nation's wealth to enrich himself to absurd levels. He literally changed over 1,000 words to Aladeen, even positive and negative, just to assert his dominance and cause a nationwide confusion.
You are HIV Aladeen?
Due to how disliked Aladeen is, he hired body doubles who imitate him in public, and 90% of the time, these body doubles are assassinated.
We shot the wrong man.
One major plot point in this movie is the tension between Wadiya and the United Nations.
Do you have nuclear weapons?
What was the question?
Admiral General Aladeen goes around boasting about his weapons of mass destruction and how dangerous his country is. This tension evaluated when the UN weapons inspectors were refused access to the country. The UN Security Council voted to authorize an attack against Wadiya unless their leader agrees to address the organization in person.
And pack my book of medium-level Sudoku. We are going to America.
General Aladeen may act tough on the outside, but secretly, he's a lonely man who craves for love. This is seen when after a session with an escort, he was denied intimacy and ended up sleeping all alone, wishing he had someone to cuddle with. His only trusted right-hand man, Tamir, is obviously the biggest enemy of the Admiral General. Tamir works as a deputy to Aladeen, and throughout this movie, it's made clear that he's a very selfish man who wants to lobby the wealth of his country and sell Wadiya's resources to the West.
Do you not remember what my saintly father made me promise him on his deathbed? It was never to sell
Wadiya's oil. You remember that was when he gave me power instead of you, the rightful heir.
So everything was set for the general to attend the UN meeting. The general didn't disappoint. He really showed Americans how affluent he was, having an absurd amount of sports cars, a massive entourage, and a freaking camel, acting like the boss he thinks he is. Tamir introduced Aladeen to a security man meant to protect him, but it turns out the security was a hitman sent to assassinate the Admiral General.
I thought we were friends.
Nice to see you too.
And obviously, this was all planned out by Tamir. Luckily, Aladeen was able to escape death by the slimmest odds ever, but sadly, his iconic beard was cut off, and this was the point where the general lost his power. Aladeen rushed to the Lancaster Hotel where he was supposed to give his speech, but obviously, he was restricted.
Tamir, it was you snake!
With Tamir having full control over Aladeen's body double, he makes the puppet declare that Wadiya was now going to open its borders to the outside world and embrace democracy.
Democracy! No! Democracy! Never!
This pissed off Aladeen and he forced his way into the meeting, claiming that Wadiyan people love being oppressed. As all this was unfolding, a fellow protester took notice of this hobo-dressed man in the crowd. As the chaos got out of hand, the protester offered a helping hand to Aladeen, having no idea that the man she was protesting against was the same man she was offering a helping hand.
Could you please take your hands off my breasts?
Those are breasts? I thought you were a boy.
This woman is called Zoe, and she will quickly learn how terrible the man she rescued was. Right from the start, Aladeen changed his name to Alison Burgess to hide his true identity.
My name is Son.
Allison?
Right, Allison.
Zoe is the antithesis of everything Aladeen hates about America and the West. She was willing to open her arms to welcome Alison Burgess, help him by giving him a job and giving him a place to stay for the meantime. Alison Burgess, or let me say General Aladeen, did not disappoint. He immediately started commanding everyone in the store, mocked people with disabilities, dropped a concerning amount of racist jokes, offended everyone within just 2 minutes.
Pretty much haven't had a white boyfriend since high school.
Well, the dark races are less choosy.
Okay, that came off as kind of offensive.
Alison Burgess even started offending the one person willing to help him out. This led to the two having an argument, and Alison Burgess was fired on his very first day at work.
That is very inappropriate.
Don't tell me what to say and what not to say, little boy.
This man is indeed despicable. Even at his lowest point in life, he still acts like he owns the world and everyone in it. It's quite surprising how he later on blamed everyone else for his misfortunes and saw no fault of his.
Why is it always the good guys? Why?
As the once great leader was questioning reality, he recognized one of his people, and this person is Nadal, the former head of Wadiya's nuclear program and procurer of women. What shocked Alison Burgess was that he personally ordered for the execution of this Nadal because he stood up to him in a conversation one time.
Let's just agree to disagree, my friend.
Okay.
Aladeen followed Nadal to an avenue called Little Wadiya, and soon enough, Aladeen gets to know that all the people he called for their execution were not executed.
Every single person you had executed is still alive.
The two settle their differences and decide to work as a team. So whilst the two were planning on how to infiltrate the meeting, Tamir announced to the public that a new constitution was being drafted for Wadiya, and in just a few days, it will be signed in front of the whole world.
The Wadiya's new constitution, which is scheduled to be signed at the Lancaster Penthouse Ballroom.
As Aladeen saw Zoe at the protest, he tried to hide shamelessly, but Nadal decoded that since Zoe had passed into the hotel, Aladeen should try and offer an apology to Zoe, work and earn her trust, and use her as an access into the Lancaster. Alison Burgess went to beg for his job back, got it, and acted nonchalant the whole time he was working at the store.
I need you to hurry up, Chief. Chop, chop.
Another iconic scene in this movie was when Nadal and Aladeen went on a tour around the city. Could you imagine these two started talking about Porsche 911, but due to them speaking in their native dialect, the couple seated opposite from them reported them to the police.
Everything is in our fake language except for the phrase 9/11, or we keep talking about, like, you know, he's talking about fireworks over the Statue of Liberty, but he's saying Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty.
Nadal and Aladeen were arrested for conspiracy. Zoe came in to bail Alison from custody, and her mannerisms and passion broke down the tough heart of the once disgusting leader. Admiral General Aladeen was in love for the very first time in his life. Soon enough, Alison Burgess started giving a shit about his work. He single-handedly took Zoe's failing store from a C to an A.
From now on, it's my way or the
One evening, as the pair were having one of the most disgusting romance in cinema, Alison Burgess got so comfortable enough with Zoe to confess that the leader she was protesting against all this while was the same man giving her cunnilingus some few minutes ago.
Oh my god!
She instantly broke up with Alison Burgess.
You need to leave now.
You've broken my heart into Aladeen pieces.
Aladeen was now at his lowest. Losing Zoe made him realize how much of a dick he was. On the verge of taking his own life, Nadal comes to his rescue and is able to convince Aladeen to forget about Zoe and focus on their main objective.
You alone can stop these terrible things from happening. You are the last great dictator.
So on the day of the signing of the constitution, Nadal was able to successfully get Aladeen into the hotel and take over as the body double in his place.
Tamir, the bold bastard who did all these terrible things to us. I thought his name was Dennis. How do you even make that leap?
At this point, Tamir was almost going to win and become exponentially rich, but he later found out that the man standing there was the original himself, the great Admiral General Aladeen.
This constitution is nothing but a license for oil companies and foreign interests to destroy my beloved Wadiya.
As he kept on ranting, he noticed Zoe in the stands with tears in her eyes. This moved Aladeen to the point of going against his own idols. He proclaimed that Wadiya was going to practice democracy and organize a free and fair election from now onwards.
Shawty say she no go up for the bros. My bros know they play, they go up in and toss. I wanna